Good morning. I'm Michael Dembinski. I'm the Chief Advisor of the British-Polish Chamber of Commerce. It's the 1st of February 2021, a month after the UK has left the single European market and the customs union. Brexit has become reality, and how is it looking at the moment? If we look at the state of trade after 1 month, we see that the defining feature is not so much Brexit, it's COVID. Brexit has made matters worse, but it's COVID that is really suppressing demand in the UK. In particular, the fact that lockdown has meant that the HoReCa sector isn't really purchasing. So from the point of view of keeping the trucks moving, keeping Britain fed, there are certainly no signs of shortages in the shops. The government has taken steps to ensure that it's actually a lot easier to get goods into the UK than the EU makes it to get goods from the UK into the EU. So at the moment, there are there is easing from the point of view of notification. There are now simplified rules simplified rules at the moment. But from the 1st of July, notification will become the full regime. It'll become a lot harder than it is at the moment to notify movement of your goods into the UK. Another date to watch for is the 1st of April, when full phytosanitary and veterinary controls will be implemented on the UK border. At the moment, in order to make sure that there is a full supply of food into UK shops, the regime is not as strict as it will be. So, as I said, the problem is more for UK exporters because the border ports on the EU side are already implementing the full procedures for non-EU, for third country imports, which affect the UK. Now, one thing we've seen in looking at traffic between the UK and the EU is the fall in trucks going from the UK to the EU. At last year, at this time, about 30% of all the trucks that went back to Europe from the UK were empty. Right now, it's about 60%. So the UK, which traditionally has had a massive and always growing deficit in trade in goods with the EU, this is only likely to get bigger. We're hearing a lot of complaints from British small and medium-sized enterprises who export to the EU that they need to register in every single EU market into which they sell. For many companies, this is too much. This is too big a burden. It's too much red tape. So they're just resigning from these markets. And this includes small and medium-sized manufacturers from the UK. We're also hearing a lot of difficulties in the area of e-commerce. Now, the UK has been and is a leader in e-commerce. At the end of last year, some 25% of everything that UK consumers buy was bought online. Much of this was an acceleration of trends that were already in place. At the end of 2020, so before the pandemic, one in five, 20% of UK's retail was online. And at the height of the lockdown in May of last year, it was 34%, before settling back to 25%. So the UK is very strong in e-commerce, and it's also been a very strong e-commerce platform from which to service EU markets. Now, that is pretty much come to a stop because of Brexit, because of the rules regarding customs tariffs, rules of origin, and VAT payments. So if anything is more expensive than £135, it has to undergo full customs procedure, which means that you need to prove that the product was actually made in the UK, or that a substantial part of the value added to that product is from the UK. Now, many UK merchants, online merchants, would be buying wholesale from the Far East, from China, and selling it on into the EU from the UK. And that practice is coming to an end. Another problem that UK retailers have is even if that merchant does have a e-commerce platform within the EU in countries like Poland, they will have to face the need for having a fiscal representative on the ground who is a citizen of that country. And that Poland has moved that, requirement back from, it was originally the 25th of January. This is now moved back towards the end of February. There is hope that Poland will not require a fiscal rep from a British limited liability company set up in Poland. So we're seeing a lot of red tape. Now, this is all going to increase, as I said, on the 1st of April. New full phytosanitary and veterinary controls will be in place on the UK border. And this is likely to hit Polish exports of food. The UK is Poland's second largest export market for food. So this is going to be a problem, especially when you start looking at things of mixed origin. So an animal product mixed with a vegetable. So, for example, herrings in onion and with a cream sauce. You'll need to have a veterinary certificate for the fish, a veterinary certificate for the dairy product, and phytosanitary clearance for the onions. So a lot of new headaches on the way for Polish exporters. But for the time being, as I said, it's the depressed demand caused by lockdown, caused by COVID, that has impacted trade to a much greater degree than Brexit. As always, we watch the Office of National Statistics figures. The trade data will be coming out around the middle of this month. That will still only show us December figures. Around the middle of March, we should get the figures for January 2021. And that will be extremely interesting to show just how deep the slump in trade between the UK and the EU has been. Another date to watch for is the 1st of October 2021. On that date, EU citizens can no longer enter the UK on the basis of an ID card. You'll have to have a full passport. So for the time being, if you are looking at contracting workers from Poland to the UK, there is a whole new procedure. It's called frontier worker status, worth looking at gov.uk about who can apply for that. Essentially, it means that if your workers have been in the UK, if they've worked in the UK before, it's much easier for them to come back into the UK to work on a short-term contract. So it's when they're not looking to settle in the UK, nor when they're looking to perform a long-term contract, for example, in a bank in the City of London as an IT worker. Then there is a whole set of visa formalities for long-term employment. So there we are. That's the situation after 1 month following the UK's withdrawal from the single European market and the customs union. We shall keep you up to date as to how the situation looks going forward. Thank you very much.